Let me start by asking you something simple. When you see someone with strong, thick forearms, the kind that look powerful even when the arm is relaxed, what's the first thing you think? Because I'll tell you what most people think. They think that person must spend hours in the gym doing crazy routines, maybe gripping heavy ropes, or doing some advanced moves that normal people don't even know about. But here's the truth, and honestly, it still surprises people every time I say it. Building impressive forearms really only comes down to two basic exercises, just two. And once you understand how and why they work, it becomes almost impossible not to grow. Now, before we dive deep into the details, let me just talk to you the way I talk to my clients when they come to me asking how to build stronger-looking arms. The forearms are a funny muscle group because they're so visible, yet so overlooked. You shake someone's hand, they notice. You pick up a bag, they notice. Even when you're just standing casually, your forearms are sitting there, out in the open, telling the world whether you train or you don't. So if you're watching this right now thinking your forearms are too thin, or they look flat, or they're just not where you want them to be, trust me, I get it. I've trained enough people to know how common that frustration is. And just so you know, you're not alone. Most people think forearms are genetic, like you either have big ones or you don't. But that's not true at all. What is true is that most people never train them correctly. They think gripping a barbell during curls or deadlifts is enough. Or they think forearms grow by accident. And maybe a tiny bit of growth happens, but the kind of forearms that really stand out, those don't happen by accident. Those happen when you train the muscles directly, with intention, with slow, controlled movement, and with consistency. So I want you to imagine something for a moment. Picture a construction worker, or a mechanic, or a carpenter. These are people who don't even go to the gym, yet many of them have forearms thicker than bodybuilders. Why? Because they repeat the same motions every day, gripping, pulling, twisting, holding, and they do it over and over and over again. These simple movements build real strength. And that's exactly why the two exercises we're about to get into are so effective. They mimic the exact motions that naturally grow forearms in the real world. All right, let's talk about the first one, wrist curls. And yes, I know, they look super basic. Sometimes clients give me that look of, really? This is it? But once they start doing them properly, everything changes. Here's the thing about wrist curls, they target the flexor muscles that run along the underside of your forearm. These are the muscles that give your arm that thick, round look when you bend your wrist. The simple act of curling your wrist upward isolates them more directly than almost any other movement. When I teach wrist curls, I always say the same thing. Don't rush. Don't try to go heavy. Don't try to impress anyone. This is a slow, controlled, almost meditative movement. You sit down, rest your forearms on your thighs, or on a bench. Let the dumbbell roll slightly down toward your fingers, and then curl your wrist upward. And the key is how you move, not fast, not jerky, but smooth. You want to feel the stretch at the bottom, because that stretch wakes up the deeper fibers in the muscle. And when you curl back up, you want to squeeze, actually squeeze like you're trying to crush something with your hand. I've had people tell me they never felt their forearms burn until they did wrist curls properly, and that's when growth begins. When something burns, it's not punishment, it's communication. It's your body saying, yes, this is the part I needed. I can't tell you how many people try this for the first time and look at me like I've just shown them a secret they weren't supposed to discover. And honestly, that's exactly what it feels like. But wrist curls alone won't give you that complete look. They fill out the bottom. They build density. They give your grip power. But the forearms aren't a one-sided muscle. To get that balanced, rounded look, the kind where your forearms look good from every angle, you need to work the muscles on the top as well. These are the extensors, and they're responsible for opening your hand, stabilizing your wrist, and creating that clean, athletic shape on the outer side of your arm. That brings us to the second exercise, reverse wrist curls. If wrist curls feel natural, reverse wrist curls feel awkward at first, and that's totally normal. The extensor muscles are smaller and weaker, so you won't be able to use nearly as much weight. But that has nothing to do with how effective they are. If anything, The lighter weight forces you to use strict form, which is exactly what you want. You flip your grip so your palms face downward, rest your forearms again, and lift your wrist up with control. And again, don't rush. Don't throw the weight up. This is not an ego exercise. This is precision training. It's almost like teaching your forearms how to behave differently. And when they learn, they grow. I'll tell you something interesting too. When clients start training reverse wrist curls, they often tell me it feels like they've discovered a part of their forearm they didn't know existed. It's a whole new sensation, and that's a good sign. It means you're hitting fibers that have been ignored your entire life. Now, before we go on, let me give you one little technique that turns both of these exercises from effective into crazy effective. At the top of each rep, pause, just for a moment. 1 second. That single second doubles the tension your muscles feel. It makes your forearms work harder without increasing the weight. Clients who add this pause often see results noticeably faster. So remember, lift, pause, lower, repeat. Let's talk about reps and sets for a second, because this is important. Forearms respond best to higher reps. They're used all day for gripping and holding things, so they don't get tired easily. That's why you need to push them longer. Aim for 15 to 20 reps per set, 3 to 4 sets per exercise, 2 or 3 times per week. That's it. Nothing crazy. Just enough to challenge the muscles without overwhelming them. Now here's something people don't often think about. Your forearms don't just help with grip, they support almost every upper body exercise. If your forearms are weak, your pull-ups suffer. Your deadlifts suffer. Even your bicep curls suffer, because your grip gives out before your arms do. But when your forearms get stronger, your whole upper body gets a boost. Everything feels more stable. You feel more confident. And that's why training forearms is more than just an aesthetic choice, it's a strength investment. Let me also share something from experience. When clients first start working on their forearms, they expect big changes overnight. But forearms grow differently from other muscles. They require patience. Consistency. You won't see a huge change in the first week, but around the 3-week mark, something happens. Your veins start showing a little more. Your grip feels stronger. Your forearms start rounding out. And then, around the 6-week mark, that's usually when people start noticing, "Hey, your arms look bigger," or "Are you lifting heavier?" These comments might seem small, but they're powerful. They tell you that what you're doing is working. Now here's something special, a little finisher I like to give my clients. At the end of your forearm workout, hold a dumbbell in each hand and simply let them hang by your sides. Don't curl them. Don't move them. Just hold them, as long as you can. This static hold lights up every muscle in your forearm. It teaches your muscles to fire together. It builds insane grip strength. And it takes your results to another level. Start with 20 to 30 seconds. Work your way up. You'll be shocked at how effective this is. Forearms are one of those muscle groups that reward persistence. They reward effort. They reward consistency. And the cool thing is, anyone can build them: men, women, beginners, advanced lifters, it doesn't matter. The muscles respond the same way. Train them properly, and they grow. So here's what I want you to do. Commit to these 2 exercises for the next 4 weeks. Really commit. Don't skip. Don't rush. Just show up and do the work. And I promise you, your forearms will change. Your strength will change. Even the way you feel holding everyday objects will change. And if you're still here right now, that tells me one thing: you're serious about improving. So do me a favor. Hit the like button, subscribe, and check out the next video I'm posting, because we're going to talk about how to build a stronger, more powerful grip using a single tool you probably already have at home. It's simple, it's fun, and it works unbelievably well. But for now, start with these 2 exercises. Train smart, train slow, train with intention, and watch how your forearms transform 1 rep at a time.